I wonder if this will take me an hour like the last two videos. Hello Internet! It's that time again. I've finished another Wheel of Time book and we're here to discuss it. Today we are discussing the third Wheel of Time book called The Dragon Reborn. Now, I'm just gonna do the heads up like each other time. I have listened to these books. I've not just read them, but I've listened to them. We are talking spoilers here, but if you want a non-spoiler like little review, it's okay. It's not the best book out of at least the top three. But yeah, we are gonna talk heavier now. So if you have not read it, come back to this video once you've read the book. I am changing some stuff in this video. I'm using a new camera, a new phone. And also that phone doesn't have a headphone jack. And so my newer microphone that uses a headphone jack, I can't use it on this phone. And I just realized that. I'm gonna have to get in like an adapter thing. So sorry if the audio is worse. Let's just get right into the book. I do have my notes here. Notes. I have like a recap of what's going on. I usually get names wrong. So I apologize if I'm mispronouncing something or if I just don't remember a name, but I'm really bad with names. But I do remember most like characters, just not their names. I should say I have read this book a month ago, maybe even longer. Oh my god, I am late to making this video because of like life stuff. So I'm kind of looking at it from more space than I was the first two videos I made. The first two videos I made for the first and second book, I made like, maybe there was a week after, but I made it very, very soon after I finished the books. But this I had some time with, so, that might affect how I think about this book, but I'm not sure it did because my thoughts have not changed a lot in this like month or maybe even month and a half that I've been reading other stuff. Just the overall kind of feeling I get when I just look at the trilogy, the three books I've read. The third one is the weakest one. The second one is the best one, but the ending ruins it for me a lot. So the first one is the best one for me just because the second one has, in my opinion, a bad ending. You can check that video out. It's like an hour long. The third book is, I think, definitely the weakest out of the three for me. Kind of every element of the first two books is in number three, but I don't think it was... I don't want to say it wasn't written well. It was written well, but it just... I've experienced everything already that I've seen here, only much better in the first or second book. There is this kind of pattern that I'm noticing with Robert Jordan, that he just kind of splits them up and then puts them together and then splits them up again and puts them together. And that's kind of how the plot of every book is. Now the first one, because it's kind of very Lord of the Rings, it works because that's just a trope. We need to get to play it from A to B, and we're gonna see the world along the way. But the problem is, it's really simple. Like in Lord of the Rings, they don't always come together. But here it's, they split up, they get together, they split up, they get together. At the end of the book, they're all together, and that's it. And I feel like that kind of happens to a degree in all three of these books. And just, I guess, by the third one, you just notice it a lot. Like, in the beginning, they all start from completely different parts. Not all of them, but, there are, like, you could say, two groups that they start with. But then those groups, get into, I think we have 3 POVs that we follow intensely. 4 if you include Rand. But in the end, they all just come together. And they're in the same city, they're doing the same thing, they're attacking the same place, and that's it. And, I just kind of hoped I would get something else from book 3 instead of that. We do kind of just start off with these 2 groups. So we have the camp where Rand and everyone else is, but we also have the Aes Sedai girls. They're not Aes Sedai yet, but they will be, kind of traveling with Matt so they can get him healed from the dagger from Shadar Logoth. And that's how we started, right? And quickly throughout the story, Rand goes away, and we literally get none of him in this story, which I did not mind at first. But then we follow other characters a lot. So I would say we have Perrin. We have, I just call them the girls because I'm not sure if sometimes we're in Nynaeve's and sometimes we're in Egwene's point of view. But basically the two of them and... Oh, it's also an E. Oh, fuck. Elaine. We follow the three of them through their, investigation of everything that happened in Tar Valon and then also, outside. And we follow Matt. So that's kind of our three POVs. I think we have one chapter of Rand, or maybe two. Or I don't think he even gets full chapters. I think he gets at the end of the chapter we see what he's doing, and that's it. Which is great. I really enjoyed reading this book. Following all of them really was enjoyable. I would say the best POV for me was Matt. And mostly because the first two books were really bad to Matt. In a way, he was bad to us. He was really annoying, and he was the only kind of character in the main group that I did not enjoy. I did not like him. I didn't find him funny or anything. I didn't even find him funny in that kind of evil way. None of that was Matt giving me. But I was like, okay, I know he goes through the story. I've heard that, he has a character arc, and stuff will happen. And I was excited with that. And I got that, I feel like, in this book. This was very a Matt-oriented book. Because I feel like with him, we do see, him not just being what he was in the last two books. He's not just annoying. He's not just mean for no reason. He has that kind of growth in him, and we really root for him, I feel like, more here. Or at least I did. He had a great transformation without completely tearing down the first two books. He still feels like Matt. He still has those little quips, he doesn't want to be there, he doesn't care, he acts like he doesn't care, and very mischievous kind of thing. But and so it works. His character arc here works. It really gives us more of him, and I enjoyed him almost. I don't think I have any complaints about his parts. So I do think this was a great book for Matt and for his character, and was needed for him. But yeah, now Perrin kind of was depressing. I enjoyed him. I think he gave some darkness to this book, which was good. But when I saw there was a Perrin chapter, I wasn't like, oh yes, I'm excited for this. It was kind of like, okay, well, what's gonna happen? I think not a lot happened with Perrin, even though looking back and kind of also reminding myself, looking through the summary of chapters and reminding myself, I see a lot happened with him, but I don't have that feeling. And he had the caged guy that he saved. He saw what he could become with the wolf powers or whatever. He met the Falcon, and that kind of, I'm guessing, future love story. It will definitely be a love story. There's no part of my mind that believes that won't be a love story. There was a lot of stuff there, but I just feel like it was really regular Perrin. Regular Perrin of where he is right now, I should say. And yeah, which I'm okay with. I didn't mind it, but it was the most exciting parts of the book. Following the girls was really a roller coaster for me. I really loved them when they just left Tar Valon. Or that first part where they left Tar Valon. Really, when they're outside, I found them really. I loved the part where they, the Aiel, when they met the Aiel, and they had to heal one, and they thought they were Aes Sedai. Everyone treated them like Aes Sedai, even though that's not what they were. But you kind of spend so much time with these characters, and you love that they feel more part of this world. They feel much more respected, even though they're still young. And I really enjoyed those parts. I really enjoyed seeing them kind of traversing the world on their own, on a mission, and being like kind of capable of doing that. I really like those parts. The beginning, like when they were in Tarvalon, I thought that was fine. That was interesting. It was a lot of, I don't want to say info dumping, but it is an info heavy part of their journey. Now, my problem with them is the end, where I'll talk about the parts I didn't like later, but yeah, their like last part of their journey just really didn't do it for me. I was hoping for much more. Rand really wasn't in this book. The chapters we saw of him were fine little chapters that could have been cut and nothing would change. He did show up in the end, which was fine. I guess because I'm in the positive part, I will talk about that. I did like this kind of ending in one way, but I hated it in another. So I liked that it was very clear to me what happened. The first two books, I feel like, have kind of bad endings in the sense of I'm still confused about what the Eye of the World was and what happened to it exactly, and who did what, and did Rand kill that one guy, or did that one guy get killed because he was sucking the Eye of the World? The first book left me really confused in the ending of both how they got there. I know how they got there, but like how they realized they should get there. It was really a leap for me for them to go there. Yeah, so that's for the first book. Now for the second book, the ending was just really hectic for me. It didn't make a lot of sense. I just didn't see it. Like I imagined what the words were telling me, and it just seemed goofy. I guess the sky battle was cool, fine, but it wasn't good enough for me to kind of gloss over everything that happened there, and it was just too much. Compared to those two books, this one has an ending that's very clear to what happened. So the Aiel attacked this fortress, Rand showed up, or actually, it was Moraine showed up, she killed the one guy, Rand showed up to kill the Father of Lies, who is the fake Father of Lies, and yeah, that was just fine. The like sequence where he chased him were fine, they were cool. I liked it. I wish I'm a fan of larger fight scenes and like longer fight scenes where people just do a lot of cool shit. And Wheel of Time isn't that. It's usually fights are over like within a minute of the audiobook. But it was cool enough, and it was, satisfactory end. Not to this book, but it was, I guess in a different book that would have followed Rand, I would have liked this ending. And that leads me to the big problem, which is this book does not follow Rand at all, but the last chapter is just Rand fighting, and that's it. And so, and it's not that I don't root for Rand, but I kind of forgot about him. And now all of a sudden, everyone that I was following were completely irrelevant. Like, they did not need to show up there at all. And that is my kind of problem with this book. It does not have a plot. The plot is they go there, and they don't do anything. Like, in Lord of the Rings, everyone that shows up to Mordor kind of has some role. From, obviously the hobbits, but the armies to kind of distract Mordor while they get in. Even Gollum. They have a role while they're there. In here, would anything have changed if the girls didn't show up? No. If Matt didn't show up? No. If Perrin didn't even show up? Perrin got to the city and he was just there saving the girl from the dream. I know, like, he has his, like, story, and that's fine, but that could have happened anywhere. We didn't need that, I want to say. And that is really my problem with this book. I feel like Robert Jordan does not do endings well, at least in these 3 books. They are either cool but unclear, cool but hectic, or cool but completely undermine the entire book. Like, I feel like if this book was in Rand's POV, like the first 2 were, and then we got to this point, I would love it, I think. But I guess, what Rand went through in his journey to Tyr wasn't interesting enough. But I don't know. I just wish we got more in the ending of the other characters. I wish they had something more to do. So with Perrin, I didn't like, that he played no role in this. Not that I don't like the Falcon girl. It's fine. It was a fine moment. But I was expecting him to kind of do anything. Matt was fine, but my problem with Matt were that he is kind of a Mary Sue in this. He just does things that he should not be able to do. It might be explained later. I know that his luck is kind of referenced in a way that makes me feel like it's magical, and he will explain it at some point, or, the story will explain it. But my problem really is with his fighting abilities. Like, there's a point where he, beats the 2 princes with his, quarterstaff thing, and they're using swords, which makes 0 sense to me. He did not show any capability like that in the first 2 books. I know he killed someone, I think, in the second book, but that was because of the dagger, and I don't think he, killed someone. I think he killed, a random guard, right? But, in this book, he's made out to be this kind of protege of just fighting. He beats 2 princes who, from birth, are, I'm guessing, but, trained to duel and to use swords. They're trained to be... Am I crazy? Aren't they trained to be warders? The 2 princes, or maybe just one of them is, and the other one is just there to protect him. And they've been there for, some time now. And yet, Matt, who... and you can go through this it's, a kid from the village and he's physical his entire life. Yeah, sure, but not in fighting. Not in, actually fighting off people with swords who have training. So yeah, I found those parts of Matt really unbelievable. Just how good of a fighter he is. He, kills Dark Friends multiple times through his journey to Tyr. So yeah, I don't know. I do like this idea of luck being on his side, him gambling, and that's maybe because of the sword. Maybe it's something else. Who knows? I do like that. I just wish we were, he just didn't need to fight that many people, or and I feel like Tom Marilyn could have taught him to fight. That would have been, a great chapter maybe. Now, with Perrin and Matt, they do kind of have already killed a lot of people. Maybe not a lot, but they have fighting experience. Perrin is also just stronger, I guess, because he is a blacksmith. And, Rand has magical powers. So they can be kind of explained through that. Whereas I don't feel like Matt has... I don't feel like the story has tried to really put an emphasis on, when Matt kills someone, that doesn't affect him at all. When he, beats, 5 people at once, that's, not weird for him. It's, something that should be expected. And I don't think it is expected of Matt. I think it's expected of a few other characters, but not of Matt. I don't think the groundwork was set there for him to be so good. But both so good at fighting, but also so okay with killing people. Perrin, I don't have a lot of negatives with Perrin, but I just, I wish I would have seen a bit of something else that I haven't seen in the first 2 books. But it was fine. It was cute, I might even just be in my head because objectively looking at everything that he's gone through, there is a lot. So I don't know, but I guess his coolest part was the Aiel guy in the cage. Now the girls, I loved every part of their journey. I like the dreaming, like magic, I guess. I don't know. I love that. It is a little too much like the I forget the name, but the special place we were in the second book where we met that one woman, Celine, I think is her name. Um, and also kind of the ways as well. I understand they're all different things, but it is kind of becoming a bit formulaic that in every book there is this like other dimension that we can somehow go to and then accomplish things using that dimension. But it was okay for me. I liked it. I liked how they used that to, I think, still that one woman, or at least like incapacitate her. I found that was real. Though all that was cute, but I really didn't like, watching them through this story like grow and become much more respected, or even if it's like fake respect because people think they're Aes Sedai, but also like seeing them hold grudges from the people from all the the things that happened to them before, not wanting to be colored again, chained again, all those things. I I liked seeing all of that, and I liked seeing them investigating and just being kind of awesome for them to just have to be saved by Matt, who, everything worked until that point, but because, you have the combination of them needing to be saved once more. I will say this is the third time Nynaeve has been saved. No, I'm lying. It's the second time Nynaeve has had to be saved. No, it is the third one because in this book they get saved twice. The first time it's by the Aiel, which I liked. I like that because I also feel like I like that because I feel like they would have escaped even without the Aiel, but the Aiel helped, and also it was this kind of they helped them and now they're helping them back. I enjoyed that, but I really didn't need to see Matt open their door, like save them from the thing. I wish just they would have saved themselves and Matt just showed up to do something else. I get that if Matt didn't save them, why was he there? But why were any of them there, really? They didn't help Rand at all. They didn't help Moraine at all. They, really they didn't accomplish anything but survive getting there. And that really bothered me with all of them. And also just with this idea that the female characters are here just to be saved by the main male characters. Not even just the random male characters or female characters. Like, I liked the Aiel saving them. I enjoyed that. But I just don't need another. And they also wanted to use them as bait for Rand. So even like the story itself is kind of using that. Yeah, I just wish they would have saved themselves. And it's fine for them to get trapped. Perfectly fine. But they could have used the like dreaming to actually escape. And just be powerful, and the balefire, I believe it's called, use that. Like do some crazy shit. Don't just get saved. And also I wish when they got saved that both they and Matt did something. Anything else within the story. I like the old man, he might not be old, but the man that helped Matt because he felt bad, because he was, I guess, charmed or whatever by the Black Haja. And I also like the woman that also kind of betrayed them, but she had to. She felt like she needed to. I like that dynamic. I like that her and Nynaeve had like this dynamic of kind of colleagues, but also rivals, when they were like sitting together and talking about how they would cure this and that, and kind of trying to find which one doesn't know something. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed some of the secondary characters. Also, regarding like the girls, I did find it kind of unbelievable that the Amelin seat couldn't find any allies and so she chose them. Like, I get it that, you know, you want to give them kind of this intrigue moment and everything, but they could have, you know, does Yamelin Seat not have any friends besides Moraine and, you know, these, like, girls she's known for, like, 6 months? Like, she doesn't know them. They could be themselves dark friends, and just really good dark friends. Like, really deep, deep spies that are just waiting for the perfect moment to pounce, and that moment hasn't come yet. Overall, I did not enjoy just how easy they, I don't want to say got off, but just how quickly the Amelin Seat believed that they're not dark friends. Yeah, that's a lot of the negatives I had, and really, it felt like a filler book. It really felt like it was there to tie up a few things, but overall, it just was there to kind of set up for the next book. I have heard that the fourth book is really good. It's one of the best ones. But I also heard that the third book is one of the better ones, so I don't know. But yeah, this is definitely, I think I gave it 3 stars or something. It is definitely, currently for me, it's 1, 2, 3. That's how I'm ranking them. Yeah, the third one just really fell apart for me in the end. Like, none of them needed to be there. And, you know, I liked being in all of their heads a little more than Rand's, but I feel like if Rand was the only one that was going to do something cool in the end, we should have followed him. I feel like that was a mistake. That was a structural mistake of this book. But yeah, overall I didn't hate it. I actually loved it until the end, which is becoming a pattern for Robert Jordan. I hope one of these books I'm just going to be like, that was an awesome ending. I love the book, but the ending, oh my god. I have not gotten that yet. And yeah, the fourth book is, I've already started it. And it's, you know, I think only 2 hours in, so I'm not really that far into it. But yeah, hopefully I'll make that video sooner than this one. And yeah, thank you for listening to me rant. And yeah, let me know what you thought of the third book. Did you like it? Do you think the ending works at all? Because I really think it doesn't work in any way. Besides, like, if you just look at that as a single chapter and nothing else, like it's not part of any other story, then it might be okay, but overall it just does not work within this story, I believe. But you know, let me know what you think, and you know, chat with me, leave me a comment, tell me if you agree or disagree, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.